Barry Allen. I am the fastest man alive.
Good morning everybody, how are we all doing? I hope having a good week so far. So today is Wednesday the 18th of March 2015 and oh my god, how awesome was last night's episode of The Flash. Out of time and brilliant. So many reveals, so many twists, well the big twist at the very end even. Just so much was happening. It was very hard to keep up to begin with. But I've just watched it for the second time about half an hour ago or so to really understand and gauge what was actually going on, because there was a lot going on, a huge amount. We've got the return of the Weather Wizard. I say the return, but this is the Weather Wizard, Mark Marden, older brother of Clyde, who got killed and taken down by Joe West at the pilot episode. And we go back a year to that time when the initial particle accelerator exploded. We see both Mark and Clyde in a plane, both get hit with the particle accelerator matter essentially, and Mark is basically out for revenge. He wants to know who killed his brother, and he wants blood basically. At the same time, Barry and Linda go on a date. They go bowling, and they bump into Iris and Eddie. Not awkward at all. Not at all. Not in the slightest. But later on, Linda has it out with Iris, basically saying that she was not happy about the way that she realises that Iris does actually have feelings for Barry, and it irritates her in a sense. And you have to put yourself in Linda's shoes and understand and say to yourself, you know what, she's got every right to feel that way, because as far as she was concerned, she and Barry, they were exclusive towards each other. That was it. Yes, fair enough, when Iris told Linda that Barry has feelings for her, well, Iris shouldn't have said anything at all, to be perfectly honest, because now Linda's just got it in her head that something's going on between them two. And it's not just Linda, Eddie is also in the same position as well, except Eddie is probably more jealous about it than Linda is. I mean, Linda is jealous as well, but Eddie is definitely more jealous about it, and I think it will show in next week's episode titled Rogue Time, which is very interesting because that episode is based on the repercussions of what happened in last night's episode. And if I'm going to go further back again with this episode, I think obviously the biggest one for us was Harrison Wells. So yeah, I am going to spoil it for you all. I do not care because there's so much going on. But yes, it is confirmed that Harrison Wells is indeed Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash. We don't know how he's ended up in this time, but he has been stuck in this time for 15 years. And he obviously is trying to find a way back home, and the only way he can do that is with Barry. So yes, both Barry and Eobard were present 15 years ago when Barry was a little kid. Nora was killed. It was not Eobard's intention to kill Nora, but it's now that she's dead, he's stuck in this timeline. He needs to get back to his time, which I'm guessing is the 25th century. And he needs Barry, essentially. I tell you what, I was tugging at the heartstrings though when Cisco eventually found out what was going on, found out the truth, and it tugged at the heartstrings when you saw Cisco crying, because here is a guy who was looking up to this scientist, to this well-known scientist, and as far as he was concerned, he was his inspiration, his role model. And for him to find out that he is this otherworldly supervillain, it's just incredible. It's unprecedented, and it shattered his illusions essentially. And And what Wells did to Cisco was just uncalled for. I say it was uncalled for. It was necessary for Eobard, yes, but it was just so sad. It was really sad. That being said, there is a moment in the episode where Barry is running towards the morgue because Eddie gets the call that something's happened at the morgue. This is the beginning of the episode where Mark Martin's chased down the coroner and wants to find out who the police officer is that killed his brother Clyde. So he tracks down the coroner instead to find out who the police officer was. But when Barry's speeding towards the morgue, there's a moment where he sees what appears to be himself running alongside him. And I remember seeing that for the first time thinking, who is that running alongside Barry? And I thought to myself, it's got to be Barry himself, but how is that possible? Just how was he able to see himself running alongside him? And later on in the episode, we find out exactly how it happened when Mark Martin captures Joe West and invites Iris to come and, see him kill her dad. Barry obviously tags along. When Martin finds out that Barry is actually with Iris, he threatens to destroy Central City, not Coast City, Central City, by hurtling a tsunami towards the city. And Barry has to basically run back and forth to create a draft of some sort to stop the tsunami from hitting the coastline. And he does it so fast, going back and forth, that's when, boom, he hits the time barrier and goes back in time to that moment where he sees himself running and he stops, and everything that he saw previously, he sees again. And that's the big reset right there. However, with that being a reset, what repercussions has Barry caused by going back in time? Just, if you've, again, I'm referencing Flashpoint because it's the perfect reference as far as I'm concerned. If you have read Flashpoint and you've also watched the Justice League Flashpoint Paradox, you will know what happens when Barry went back in time to save his mother from being killed by the Reverse Flash. And this time round, he hasn't done that. He hasn't gone back in time to save his mother, even though that was the initial plan when he and Reverse Flash first went back to when Barry was young. Because obviously Barry was there to stop Eobard from killing himself. But unfortunately his mother died and everything happens from there. But what does this mean for him going back to that particular instant in this episode? Well, we'll find out next week. So, huge reveals. Definitely the best episode so far. It had everything. And I think the other tipping of the iceberg for me was Captain Singh. He did a brave thing in this episode by saving Joe's life against the Weather Wizard. By the way, I like the device that Cisco designed to suppress the Weather Wizard's powers. But it was, did you notice how it was a combination of a lightsaber and a sonic screwdriver? So Doctor Who fans and Star Wars fans, yay. It was very impressive. And I love how Barry was sort of like giving it a bit of a swing action. And I tweeted saying, Barry, it's not a lightsaber. Okay. But quite a device. Quite the device is all I can say. But yeah, Captain Singh, he did a brave thing. And I loved how they issued a little message regarding the whole gay propaganda side of things. Because we see Captain Singh's fiancée for the first time, and when they're all in hospital, Joe, Barry and Singh's fiancée, the doctor is saying, oh sorry, only family can see him at the moment. And that's when Joe pipes up and says, well, being his fiancée pretty much makes him family, so he's allowed in essentially. And that was a very strong message out there. I thought that was a pretty good touch for the writers to put that in there. So kudos to you guys for that one. But overall, seriously, the entire episode was just superb. So for everybody involved, damn, that was good. That was awesome. Loved it. Yeah, I cannot wait to see what happens next week now. I really cannot wait to see what happens next week. But then obviously Caitlin having to stall Harrison so that Cisco can investigate what happened with the big capacitor trap thing that they set for the Reverse Flash, realizing later on that, you know, Wells can actually move on his feet. And the bit that really scared me though was how Wells demonstrated in front of Cisco his speed mirage image, as he likes to call it, where he moves so fast. And this is what is good about the Reverse Flash. He can move so fast that he can actually create a secondary image of himself, and he can be pretty much in two places at once. It's just incredible, isn't it? So I also want to just say kudos to everybody who has probably theorised what, you know, the reveal that we have had regarding Reverse Flash. Because I remember saying a few episodes ago how my friend Dean was telling me how he believed that Harrison is Reverse Flash from the future, somehow been stuck in this timeline and is trying to find his way back, but is using Barry as his anchor essentially, and he wasn't wrong. So for everybody else and anybody else who also theorised that as well, well done. And he did say that he and Eddie are a distant relation of some sort. So could it be that Eddie is his ancestor in some way? And was there really a Harrison Wells 15 years ago? Because remember when Joe was questioning what Wells was first doing in Central City 15 years ago, Wells was saying how his wife was killed in a car accident. What if that wasn't really Harrison, it was obviously Eobard Thawne? What if that person in that car was Harrison Wells, the Harrison Wells, and Eobard took on his identity? These are theories that are being thrown out there, because later on in the series we see Detective Lance along with other characters from The Flash and Arrow all coming together. There's going to be some sort of crossover going on, but Detective Lance is with, who's he with? I think he was with Firestorm, perhaps? I can't remember when I saw the sizzle reel earlier this week. But yeah, they dig up a skeleton. Could that be Harrison Wells? The original Harrison Wells? Who knows? We don't know. We'll see. But chances are, 15 years ago, the real Harrison Wells, killed in a car accident, Eobard Thawne takes on his identity, and there we go. That's pretty much what we've got so far. But goddamn, seriously, I'm going to have to stop there because I'm just getting way too excited right now. But next week's episode, it's going to be very interesting to see what repercussions Barry has made by going back in time. Unintentionally, mind. He didn't intend to go back in time, obviously. All he was trying to do was just save Central City from being submerged with a huge tsunami. But he had no idea that that's how fast he was going would eventually cause him to break through the time barrier and go for a spot of time traveling. So yeah, I'm too excited to say anything else. But anyway, let your thoughts be known down below, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We'll be back next week. Can't wait to see what happens. Thank you all very much for watching. See you all very soon. Bye.